everybody.
What's going on?
What's happening with you?
That's right.
So we're going to try something different today.
That's right. This is a brand new thing we're doing.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're here on the ground floor.
That's right.
So we're going to be talking about some certain games and news and different things in the gaming industry. And it's going to be like a short, kind of soundbitey type of show.
Because we know what all of you are thinking. You're all thinking, man, if I could just get the opinions of these three schmucks.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. You know you want the.
Yeah.
So we're here to give it to you. We give the people what they want.
We're here.
That's what we're all about.
That's right.
And so that's what we're gonna do. So
right.
So as you can see, our topic for today is Super Mario Brothers sells for $100,150.
What a weird number, 100,150. It's like there was a bidding war probably, right? And like this guy's probably like, okay, I got 100,000 and $100 socked away for this thing. And then suddenly this guy is like, 100,000, 150, fuck! $550 off! Shit!
Yeah.
And there's like, I get.
Yeah, I can't go that extra $50. Can't go that extra 150.
Not gonna break the farm.
But yeah, this is it does speak to the collectability of video games as a collectible.
Yeah.
Most mediums they get into a collectability phase somewhere along their record, vinyl, baseball cards, comic books.
Yeah.
Do you think
even now CDs had a small little thing?
Oh yeah.
And cassette tapes, people do collect pristine copies of cassette tapes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I think this one may end up being like the creme de la creme, the Action Comics #1, the one that's in great condition, or the Livingston Butcher covers for the Beatles,
right,
of yesterday, today, and
even some shoes, man, like Jordans.
Oh yeah.
I've seen some shoes, some ungodly prices. It's like, fuck.
Like what? Like 10 grand or something?
I've seen more than that. I've seen 500 G's, baby.
Oh wow.
500 G's for shoes?
Yes. Like
those must be worn by Jordan in the NBA
Jordan
Finals.
Sweated it.
Those were worn by Jordan while you're letting Jordan shag your wife, man. Shit. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah. I don't.
That's crazy. But I'm telling you, but it's how it goes. And
well, do you think it's reached its peak of collectability?
Video games?
Like that like you're saying that's the pinnacle, but
no, I think
this
is a harbinger. Actually, I think this is going to just as video games go to a just a downloadable form, where they were. I mean, it's just not long ago they were one of the last Xbox they were thinking about doing away with physical games entirely.
Right.
For a little while there.
Right.
I think that's inevitable. I think as we get going here, probably about 10 years from now, if even sooner, you probably won't have games made like this where they're physical games. And so I think just having it go to that is going to open this kind of collectability market for these older games like this, because you have like a perfect storm of you have certain games that they didn't make very many of. And then you have the completists who want them with the original box. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was buying Nintendo games back in the 80s, I didn't give a damn about the box.
No.
I did.
Box of
you did.
I kept all my boxes.
Do you still have them?
No, because I was made to throw them away.
See,
but I kept my CD long boxes. I kept all my boxes.
I remember you kept everything.
Nobody's collecting CD long boxes, I don't think. If there's a market for that, let me know.
I think, even though it is an ungodly amount of money, but I think it's really cool though, because, I probably would never have that kind of money to spend on something like that. But, remember when Nintendo came out, that was the game, that came with it.
Oh, yeah.
And just the fact that
iconic.
It's still,
it's still a great
like
game.
that, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
It stood the test of time.
Definitely, baby.
Well, it's definitely like maybe the transition game where you had like these crappy. Not that Atari's crappy, but like the games that were made for Atari were kind of like very simple. They weren't very complex.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then you got this Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody who played Mario kind of remembers the first time they saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what? And everybody was addicted to it for a little bit. And so I can see that being very iconic.
Yeah.
And then here you have a mint condition,
Right.
sealed copy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like it's going to end up going. I think like Halpern from one of the auction houses was one of the people who were in on the winning bid. I suspect that maybe this thing becomes there'll be a name for it, like the Halpern SMB or something, or I suspect, man, I bet they hold on to this thing for another year and a half.
Gotta get that bitch insured.
I bet you the next time this thing comes up for auction, I'd be surprised if it doesn't go for less than $300,000.
Oh, wow.
I would be surprised because we're right in the infancy of collecting video games as a collectible thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you have all of these 8-bit Nintendo games that have just laid this huge foundation for being able to allow this collectability idea to continue, right?
Okay.
And you have with the regular 8-bit Nintendo game, you also had the box, you had the sleeve, you had the instructions.
Yeah, I forgot about the sleeve. Yeah, you're right.
With 8-bit Nintendo games in particular, you end up with like two different markets. You end up with like the market of just the games themselves,
and then the complete in box,
and then the complete in box.
Yeah,
you know, it's going to be. I can see people who want to collect the complete in box. They're going to have just the cartridges as kind of a placeholder. Mm-hmm. You know, as you would if you were collecting vinyl and you had a shit condition copy that skipped and whatever.
Right.
It's just there as a placeholder until you find something more in collectible shape.
Sure.
So I think that's going to continue with this. Now, the problem with collecting video game stuff is that what do you do with like? There's only a handful of Genesis titles and those already have their own box and everything.
Yeah.
So there's no.
Yeah.
There's people who threw away their boxes there too, though. I mean,
not near as many though.
No,
not near as many.
Yeah, you're right.
The box was its protective.
Yeah, they were smart, Sega, about that. They were really smart about that.
So. And so you start getting into the newer stuff after the 8-bit stuff, and it becomes there's not near as many pieces that are collectible, desirable items.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do have them. I mean, there's the games that just they didn't make many of, or for whatever reason. But
Action 52.
But the 8-bit Nintendo is really where the foundation for all of this collectability is going to be, starting now and into the next. How many years do you think?
Yeah, that brings me to another question because like now we appreciate the physical thing, but what about the generation that's growing up now who are going to grow up without the physical thing?
Yeah.
You know, are they going to appreciate it? Is it going to like end collectability once
I think it does. I think
probably does.
I think with collectability with this stuff, there's a window, and I think the window is just opened. It's only just now opened, maybe in the last year and a half or so, and it's probably got. I bet it's got another 4 or 5 years of being in the forefront.
Right.
You know, there's probably still some 8-bit Nintendo stuff that hasn't been discovered yet, or it's been discovered. It just hasn't been collected. I guess
Mm-hmm.
you know. But then I think you're right. I think as like kids that are my son's age, he's just turned 12. As they get into high school and stuff, they will not care. I don't think about any of that stuff.
Yeah, so collectability might die with.
Could.
Maybe not our generation, but the generation after.
Right.
It could.
Yeah.
It could. It's really hard to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let us know what you guys think in the comments below.
Yeah, no doubt.
And So this is Yeah, just let us know what you think in the comments below.
You just sat through You just sat through a first podcast, folks.
That's right.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everybody.
Have a good one.
Appreciate it.